In these problems, we're looking at the area of squares and rectangles. Actually, squares are a type of rectangle. They're just a rectangle that has the same length as it does width. This first problem says, altogether, how many square feet does it take to cover this rectangle? And that's what we measure area in, square units, in this case feet. And you can see one side measures 3, I assume that's 3 feet, and the other side measures 3, and they started blocking out some of those squares. There are 3, well, each one of these little squares is a square foot. And if you were to fill all the rest of this in, and you count them, you would get 9. The shortcut is to take the length times the width. 3 times 3 equals 9. So the area here is 9 square feet. And sometimes we write that 9 feet with the little squared symbol right there. Let's look at another one. This one says, altogether, how many square centimeters does it take to cover this rectangle? And again, they've started laying out the squares. There's 6 along this side, 7 along this side. We could put them all in and then count them, but we don't have to because we know the shortcut. We just multiply the length times the width. 7 times 6 is 42. So our answer here is going to be 42 square, oops, it's not feet this time, square centimeters. That's the area of this rectangle. Let's look at the next one. It says, what is the area of this rectangle? Dimensions are in centimeters. They haven't started counting out any squares for you. They're just giving you the length and the width. But you know how to handle this. You just take the length times the width, and we get 88. And let's see, what were the units? Centimeters. So it's going to be centimeters squared. Area, always square units. I think we've got one more here. Yeah, here's a word problem, so no diagram. It says one side of a square is 12 feet long. What is the perimeter of the square, and what is the area of the square? So I'm just going to draw a picture here so we know what we're dealing with. We've got a square, and it says one side is 12 feet long, so maybe that's the length. It's a square, and that means all the sides are the same, so the width is also going to be 12. And let's do the area first because that's what we have been doing. The area is just going to be the length times the width, or 12 times 12. And that's 144. And what are the units here? Feet. So square feet. So that's the area. Now the perimeter is the distance around the outside of an object. So we'd need to count all of these sides and add them together. This side's 12 over here, this side's 12 over here. So it's going to end up being 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12, or 12 times 4. The perimeter is going to equal 48 feet. Now the perimeter is just plain old feet. This is a distance, so it's plain old feet. And area is feet squared. So that's a little bit about the area of squares and rectangles.